The most requested video in Bowmar history is finally here, the hunt for stickers with my homemade bow. Let's dive in. A lot of you may not know this, but I grew up out in the sticks of Ohio fishing and hunting my entire life. But a story I've never shared with any of you is actually the story of my first bow kill. This story is a lot of fun, so stick with me, boys. This event is the origin story of Bowmar bow hunting. I was 11 years old at my family reunion in West Virginia. My Uncle Lauren had this field behind his house, and in that field was a pesky groundhog giving him fits and digging a whole bunch of unwanted holes. So I took on the challenge of trying to bow hunt this vermin with my old recurve that my grandpa Bowmar gave me. So of course everyone doubted me, but even back then I was a determined little kid and didn't give up easy. Now I waited all day concealed in a bush waiting for this groundhog to come out. Finally, after hours of waiting, I caught movement, and it was that pesky groundhog coming out of his hole at 28 yards. I wasted no time. I drew my bow and took my shot. To my surprise, my arrow hit its mark. He retreated back into his hole, but the arrow had skewered him, preventing him from going in. So I quickly ran up and took one more shot, dispatching my quarry. When I walked over that hill with that groundhog in hand, it was one of the most proudest moments of my life. I carried that thing around everywhere, showing anyone that would look at it. And then my uncle told me he had a great groundhog recipe and would love to cook it up for us. I couldn't wait for my family and I to taste groundhog for the very first time. I gotta be honest, I was surprised with how it tasted. I couldn't decide if that groundhog or a boot tasted better. So needless to say, it was not a fan favorite at the Bowmar reunion. But that was the moment I became obsessed with traditional bow hunting. Many years later, I even built my own bow and strictly hunted with that for many seasons. And of course, always with the goal of shooting a booner with a longbow. Now, I was fortunate to harvest multiple animals with my homemade bow, including a few Pope and Young animals. But in 2011, I developed severe target panic and I lost all confidence in hunting bucks with my longbow. So I hung it up and I started hunting with a compound.
Every time I walked into my shop, I saw my longbow hanging there in silence, yet so full of stories and memories from the past. Each glance filled me with nostalgia as I enjoyed reminiscing the days spent hunting with my trusted longbow.
Bow I built, yes, this is it.
Deep down, I knew I had unfinished memories and stories with that stick and string. And of course, I longed to pick it back up one day. And that day would come in the spring of 2021. I decided right then and there it was time to pick the bow back up and pursue some of my long neglected quests. So first things first, I had to fix my target panic problem. So I got coaching by Joel Turner with Shot IQ, and after working with him, I finally got my shot control back.
That's awesome.
After that, I began relentlessly training with high ambitions for remarkable accuracy. And I gotta say, I got pretty darn good with that old stick and string, and I was more than confident to take it on a hunt. But on my very first hunt with my homemade longbow,
I was shooting 33 yards and draining it, and I said I'm gonna take one more shot, and it blew up.
it snapped in half. With the dreams and goals of bow hunting a booner with a stick bow, I knew I had to rebuild a new bow. So that's exactly what I did. So I traveled to Idaho to work with world-renowned bowyer Trent Wingard to build a new, better, and stronger bow. I spent 6 days on this bow making sure each and every detail was absolutely perfect until I was finished with a masterpiece. In the late fall of 2022, I was committed to shooting a buck with my longbow. My whole season would change on November 30th when I got an unbelievable deer on camera. I couldn't believe my eyes. This was a buck I called Stickers. I got this deer on camera a year before on September 19th, but he had disappeared and I hadn't seen him since. Now that same deer is back and he blew into an absolute freak with over 20 scoreable points, and he even appears to be palmated. But that excitement quickly turned to dismay as I realized he had a bad limp. Maybe he got injured fighting, or maybe worse, he got shot. But it was obvious he had lost a lot of weight and the wound looked very infected. I knew it was only a matter of time before he died from the brutal winter or shed his antlers due to the stress of his injury. I wanted to hunt him right away, but gun season came in Iowa and it is illegal to bow hunt during gun season, even on your own property and with a gun tag. Being a diehard bow hunter, there was no way I was going to shoot stickers with a gun. I had to wait until both Iowa gun seasons were over, which wasn't until December 23rd. I kept monitoring the cameras in hopes that he would survive the gun season. I was getting consistent pictures of him until December 15th, and overnight I stopped getting pictures altogether. Day in and day out, nothing. My worst fear set in as one of the worst polar storms in Iowa's history came through, dropping temperatures to -40 degrees. Though this was temporary, I'm sure it was enough to kill Stickers. After the polar storm had passed, I was fairly certain he had died. But I kept my head up and held on to the tiniest sliver of hope that he was still alive. I continued to count the days until I could finally hunt my farm again. And then finally, both gun seasons came to an end and I was allowed to bow hunt again. So I checked the weather for the upcoming week and I got so excited. On the evening of the 25th, we had a huge snowstorm coming with temperatures dropping to a -13 degrees.
Now, there are currently winter storm warnings all across Iowa at this moment, running until early tomorrow morning. According to the National Weather Service, moderate to heavy snow is possible across the state.
This was perfect. In the spring, I planted a cornfield not far from where I was getting pictures of Stickers. So I figured with deep snow and sub-zero temperatures, if he was alive, he was coming to the cornfield. Then on the evening of the 25th, during the peak of the storm, I got a picture that got me so excited I couldn't sleep. The snow was so heavy I couldn't make out what deer it was, but I thought it could be Stickers. It was impossible to tell, but either way, I couldn't wait to bow hunt the next day.
We got ourselves a great evening, a nice little northwest cold front. It's below zero in Iowa, and we're hunting over knockdown corn. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. 27. My God, they gotta get close with a stick bow. Well, today we got ourselves a little different type of weapon, and that is a homemade longbow. And we're after a big old buck here in Iowa, trying to get it done late season. It is the day after Christmas, and we're after a buck called Stickers, and this buck's an absolute beast. He's got points everywhere, and time is not on our side with him because he got shot in the shoulder, I'm assuming by the neighbor, and his leg's all jacked up, and if we got a harsh winter, it might kill him. So thankfully, he's still holding both sides, and so if we get a chance at him today, that would be awesome. But a dream of mine is to shoot an absolute mega beast, a booner with a stick bow. And gosh dang, if we could pull that off, it'd be really, really incredible. Guys, it is gonna get cold quick, because in these enclosed blinds like this, the heaters don't work for more than 5 minutes, and then they don't work the rest of the day because there's an oxygen sensor in those buddy heaters that don't allow them to light if there's not enough oxygen. So the windows aren't just gonna fog over, they're going to freeze over. And when that happens, we're gonna be in trouble. But that's why I brought a heater gun. Where? Right here. Here comes that buck. Okay.
Which it worked great. But it didn't take long before the windows were completely frozen over again. As the evening came, deer started piling out of the timber in the grasses, and before long, we were completely covered with deer.
So we've seen around 11 bucks, probably more, because, oh yeah, then there was 2 early that walked through, right? That's not Stickers, but, oh, that's a good one. He's got some sticker points coming off of the back of his one brow. That is like the stick bow dream shot right there. Well, it's been one of those magical sets. I mean, the temperatures are really cold and these deer are coming into the corn. I mean, we've seen, honestly, I don't even know how many bucks, over 20 probably at this point. And we were having a great time. Jesse's in here filming for me, a friend of mine. And dude, this has turned out to be a pretty awesome set. And hunting with your friends and just seeing a bunch of deer, it doesn't get much better than that. So
we were completely covered in deer, but there was still no sign of Stickers.
Where I would expect Stickers to come from would be from the left. He likes this little thicket back here.
Then, at 4:40 p.m., we caught a glimpse of a new buck coming into the cornfield.
Oh, he got big. Big deer right here. Like close? Yeah, like in the cut corn. Oh my God, dude, that's stickers. That's stickers. Are you kidding me? Oh, that's our target buck.
I couldn't believe it. It was Stickers. Not only was he still alive, but he was coming our way.
He's right here. I see him.
I took my hands out of my warm pockets, exposing my skin and fingers to the frigid sub-zero temperatures.
Okay. I'm gonna try to shoot this one down. He's right under. I know, I see him, dude.
I grabbed my bow and string and readied for the moment to take my shot.
You're gonna film me out of the same window.
As he was coming into my shooting lane, he turned and went out to 27 yards, quartering away. This was a far shot, but I was ready and prepared.
Just wait till he turns. Oh, come on. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, I freaking slipped.
Right when I was about to shoot, he took 2 steps and left my shooting lane. So I went to let down, but with completely numb and frozen fingers, the string ripped through my hand, releasing the arrow way over top the buck.
I freaking slipped.
But with my bow being so quiet, he didn't realize what happened. He had ran to the left about 30 yards and stopped and looked back at the other deer. I realized I might get a second chance, so I grabbed another arrow, said a prayer, and took a deep breath, trying to calm down. And by the grace of God, he started heading back towards the other deer, which meant he had to walk right through my shooting lane.
He's gonna come back.
I focused and got ready for the most important shot of my life.
I hit him high, but I got him.
The shot wasn't perfect, and at first it seemed way too high and back, but it was obviously still under the spine. I was still confident I got high lungs or even the aortic artery that runs under the spine. The arrow will tell us everything we need to know.
Guys, it is completely soaked in awesome blood. And I just might have filled a childhood dream of mine of killing a giant booner with a stick bow. The sign looks good, so we're gonna hop down and start trailing while we have light. I don't wanna do this after dark, especially with snow on the ground, so. Okay, so we're about 10 yards from the impact and we've got blood. Look, check it out. You can just see it spraying in the snow here. Guys, this is a good sign. Oh my gosh, guys, look at this. Holy smokes. That is not a backstrap hit, boys. I got low enough. Okay, freaking A, baby. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm living my dream out right now as we're talking. Holy smokes, dude. Look at the blood on the corn stalks. Freaking A. Dude, look. We got him, boys! We got him! Oh my God! No way. Season of a lifetime. Oh my gosh. We got Stickers with the stick bow. Holy smokes. Oh my God, guys. You're looking at a dream come true for me. An absolute mega giant with a stick bow, a homemade longbow that I worked my butt off building. And we got it done late season in Iowa. 20 plus points. Oh my gosh. Holy, 21 points. Oh my God. What a beast. We're gonna get my tag on him
And then we're gonna prop him up and get him out in daylight tomorrow, just to really appreciate just how amazing this deer is.
Well, here he is, guys. We got Stickers out in daylight, and he is so much bigger than we thought. I mean, he is an absolute giant. You know, a lifelong goal of mine was to shoot a 200-inch deer with a homemade longbow. You know, honestly, I thought it would take decades to be able to achieve. It's just so hard because you got to get so close. And you know, finding a 200-inch deer is incredibly difficult. And to my surprise, when we got back and put a tape on old Stickers, not only did he go boom, but this deer taped out at over 200 inches. He had so much mass, so many points. He had literally almost 43 inches of mass. And you guys can see right here, this mass measurement between his 2 and his 3 was over 6.5 inches. And then over here, it's all palmated. And even though he broke off like 14 inches of points, he still went over 200. And it's just truly a buck of many lifetimes, and I'm beyond grateful to be able to sit here behind him. And honestly, this buck's just a reflection of all the hard work that we put into our farms. You know, when season's over, that's when everyone takes a break. That's when we work the hardest. I just encourage you to watch all of our videos, watch the work that we do, and you'll see for yourselves, you know, these kind of deer don't come easy. These kind of deer literally take blood, sweat, and tears, an enormous amount of sacrifice to grow and then get to these levels of maturity, and then to successfully harvest is a whole other challenge. You know, and it's also a reflection of my entire family and history. You know, the Bowmars have been big buck slayers long before I was around, and having great mentors like my dad and my grandpas, you know, teaching me the ways of what they've learned of chasing giant whitetails back in the day, you know, before trail cameras and before, you know, all the technologies we have. That is a huge testament to this success, to be able to pull things off like 2 200s in one season. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. You know, let Sarah and I know that you enjoy what you're watching and seeing. You know, leave a comment down below with your favorite part of Stickers or the hunt itself, or if I should do more longbow hunts. You know, feel free to reach out to us on all of our social platforms, whether it's TikTok or Instagram or, you know, wherever you guys see us, reach out. We always do our own comments and DMs, and we love hearing from you guys. And if you guys have supported us and bought our Bowmar Archery products, thank you for that. And just by supporting us by watching this video, thank you. So if I see you around, make sure to say hi. And if I don't see you in real life, then I'll see you in the next video. $200-inch buck with a homemade longbow. Doesn't get any better than this.